Charles Darwin and an uncovering of the Kennedy assassination. In 1950, China became a republic. The new government implemented programs to research Chinese history and archaeological values and assigned the responsibility to Chinese archaeologists. They collected 6,000 years of documented information, analyzed it, and compiled a book on the benefits of the herbal medicine. The book was called of Chinese Medical Plants. The chemical structure of DNA was constructed in 1953 by Maurice Wilkinson, James Davy Watson, and Francis Harry Crompton, who used photographs of DNA taken by Rosalind Franklin. They introduced that spiral by the name double helix. Also by 1957, the equipment created for the Second World War was used for other explorations. In the meantime, Russia, which took the lead in developing rockets, launched the satellite named Sputnik. After that, the practical knowledge about space and Earth expanded. In 1958, Francis Harry Crompton was able to reveal that the knowledge needed to make proteins is stored in the sequence of amino acid in the DNA strand. Also in 1959, Charles Darwin, who traveled around the world 5 years, compiled a book explaining animal evolution. Charles Darwin stated that all living things on this earth are descended from a primitive organism, and due to mutation, organisms adapted to the environment were born. Also in 1959, the production processing companies became efficient. The international business management and General Motors companies began to improve the manufacturing process using computers. And in 1961, the United Nations met in Vienna, Austria. 73 countries participated in that summit, including Sri Lanka, which was called Ceylon. And Harry Anslinger, who addressed the meeting, said that other countries should be aware of how the American government eradicates drugs and those countries should follow the same policy. The reason such a large program is being implemented around the world is to add a great value to the great forest that belonged to William Randolph Hearst and divert wood pulp to paper production instead of hemp pulp. That is, they have worked to put the whole world in trouble for the needs of one person. In 1962, John Fitzgerald Kennedy was elected as the 35th President of the United States. Harry Jacob Anslinger, who served as the US Drug Commissioner for 32 years, retired. During his service, he was engaged in a mission to save his country and other countries from cocaine, heroin, and other drugs. But he also worked obliquely to make a great destruction invisible to the eye for the well-being of his friend. It is to destroy forest and spread cancer cells through paper industry all over the world. Also, during this time, American President John F. Kennedy had a back problem and he used hemp-based medicine to cure it. Also, he did not care about the myths about hemp that existed all over America, and he was understood the medicinal value of hemp plant. For this reason, American President Kennedy wanted to legalize hemp, but in 1963, President Kennedy was shot by a terrorist and died. With that reason, I thought of adapting the character of Sherlock Holmes, and I will be Sherlock and bring the facts related to a case that has not been solved so far one by one. My personal guess is that Kennedy's slogans during the 1962 US presidential campaign may have tended to be more unfavorable to William Randolph Hearst and Anslinger, who were a drug commissioner, which people had the power to mislead the general public into thinking that Kennedy's death was the work of a person who traveled from the future. It is my conclusion that there is a connection between Anslinger and Kennedy's death, who was able to use his power for 32 years to protect his friend's personal wealth and deceive people in front of the whole world. It should not be forgotten that they have a great opportunity to spread their lies through the Hearst media. It is also a matter to be asked that one can reserve extra time for Anslinger's work by retiring rather than working in the government. It should not be forgotten that a group of people who can mislead the whole world have the ability and that is also possible to kill the president of their own country. All of you can understand this fact. There's a connection between all the matters I have talked too far. Just watch all my videos with this one. You will understand what I told you.
Please subscribe our channel, Project Ceylon, and thank you very much for your appreciation.